Roland Martin.
You probably say, come on, give me a break. Move on, guys.
From Washington, D.C., Roland Martin, good morning.
Tom, simple guy, good morning. Man, everybody, of course, is talking about surviving R. Kelly. Just stunned. You know, that docuseries was just had my mouth just wide open. And I was really more blown away when I saw Tom Joyner, that members only jacket.
Members only jacket?
He was the only member. He was the only member
in it.
When you came on,
I said, his has got a 25th anniversary jacket on. I said, damn. All the clothes Tom got.
That's a Letterman jacket. That's a Tom Letterman jacket.
It was shiny. I was like, okay, all right.
That's what you got out of that. From what
The
Tom
stylist
said,
took the weekend off. Okay, all right, y'all. Let's.
So how can we turn to the really good news to come out of Illinois this past week?
Yes, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. We will not talk about Kickgate. Doink.
Oh dear God! I said,
Doink.
I said, can we talk about the
I
one good thing?
understand. Look. Houston, Texas lost, but doink. Okay.
Well, misery loves company. Misery loves company.
I'm just saying. All right. Okay. Congress is in session, of course. Working. Donald Trump is not. He's still lying. He now has to go up against, of course, Democrats being in control of the House. And one of the reasons they are in control of the House is our next guest, Lauren Underwood. She is a freshman member of Congress, and she actually now joins, for the longest, Eddie Bernice Johnson of Texas was the only registered nurse who was a member of Congress. Well, now there is two, and she's also the youngest woman ever youngest black woman ever to serve in Congress. She joins us right now. Congresswoman Underwood, how you doing?
Good morning, Roland. Thank you so much for having me.
So it has been obviously a whirlwind. Everything that's happened since November 6th. How has your life changed being the youngest black woman member of Congress?
Well, it's certainly an honor to be able to represent my community in Northern Illinois and so many people like me, young black women who have never, ever had a voice at the decision-making table in the U.S. House of Representatives. Now, we got sworn in the middle of a government shutdown, and this is now the second longest shutdown in our country's history. And so we immediately began doing the work of the American people to get this government up and running. And as you pointed out, our president has been impossible to work with, unreasonable. We began compromising on day one to pass a bill that the Senate had already passed back in December and has fallen on deaf ears.
Lauren, and Roland, I'm just a DJ, but isn't extortion against the law?
Well, as Congresswoman Underwood, it's also called compromise in D.C. That's what they call it.
That's extortion. That's straight up extortion.
They call it negotiation and compromise. That's what it is called, to fund the wall. That first was supposed to be concrete, now it's supposed to be steel. I guess it might be lace next. I don't know.
I can tell you that
go ahead.
We're not going to be funding that wall. And the president, I believe, knows that is our negotiating position. And we believe in border security, technology, staff, these proven strategies that we know work to keep our country safe. And this wall, this monument of hatred is not it.
You have, first of all, everybody is watching the new class of Democrat House members. Obviously, you have Alexandria out of New York, but also Democrats have been gone crazy over Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib's comment calling saying we're going to impeach the MF with Donald Trump, and I'm just trying to understand. All of the hand-wringing and pearl-clutching by Democrats when you have a president who literally has cussed at rallies, has grabbed women by the vagina. He didn't use that language. I mean, this whole idea that somehow she has hurt the discourse in this country. Just what are your thoughts on this fallout, and do you find it to be silly and laughable?
Well, I'll say this. It's very clear that Congresswoman Tlaib has flipped the script a little bit. Folks had a plan for how last week was supposed to go, and impeachment was not part of that plan. Now, I think that, part of the opportunity in having elected this large, diverse class, we are now the most diverse Congress ever. Congresswoman Tlaib is one of the first Muslim women to serve in the House. Is that we are not going to always go according to plan. And that's part of the point. So I think that this is part of the adjustment period as we all learn to work together. Many of us will continue to speak our minds on issues that are of such grave importance and continue to represent our district.
What do you say to your people?
Go ahead.
What do you say to the people, Congresswoman, who are going along with the president saying that he could keep the government shut down for months or even years and that would be good? What are you saying to them, and what actions are you doing or will you all do on a day-to-day basis to stop this madness?
I wholeheartedly disagree. I was a career federal employee in 2013 when we had that long shutdown, right after when the Obamacare stuff was happening. And I can tell you that federal employees are not here to be pawns. Many are struggling to pay their bills, support their families. Meanwhile, the American people are suffering, right? And I'm from Chicago suburbs, northern Illinois. We have an EPA regional office who's now unable to monitor and enforce clean air and clean water regulations. We have national parks that are dirty, struggling to keep open, be safe because we don't have enough officers on staff. We have many impacts to the American people. We're now heading into tax season, right? So if somebody wants to file their return now and wait on a refund check, that refund check is not going to come because we don't have an IRS that's staffed and working. The Department of Justice has people who are out on furlough. This is unacceptable. And what we are doing is we are being the grown-ups in the room. On the first day, we stayed in session until nearly 10 p.m. in order to pass a bill that would keep the government open, something that the Senate Republicans, the same bill that the Senate Republicans had passed just 2 weeks prior in December. And so now what are we doing? We're going to be moving forward and passing individual spending bills, beginning with Treasury and the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, and then moving forward from there so that there will be continual opportunities for Mitch McConnell and the Senate Republicans to take up a bill to reopen our government. And from there, it's my understanding that our caucus will continue to be with the president.
Last question, as a member of Congress from Illinois, what were you going to do to use your congressional powers to get you a new kicker?
Oh, come on. Congresswoman, as a fellow Illinoisan.
It's heartbreaking day.
I was just checking. I mean, she might have some ideas.
Well, we can get one from the Texans. They aren't doing anything right now.
Oh, shots fired.
But we make our kicks.
And how did that work for you?
Congratulations, Congresswoman
Underwood. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
We're big fans of yours,
Great
Congresswoman.
things.
Keep up the great work.
Keep up the great work. God bless. Yeah.